A day in the life of your United Way contribution. Kyle gets out of bed at 6 a.m., brushes his teeth, washes his face, and journeys down the hall to the dining room. When he sits down at the table, he won't fight with his brothers and sisters over the last stitch of milk, and his mother won't call for him to make sure his backpack is ready for school. And that's because Kyle is an orphan at Webster Cantrell Hall right here in Decatur. Now, as Kyle sits down at that table, he'll be joined by his roommates. Almost every child has been physically abused, and every child that joins him has been sexually abused. The role of United Way dollars in Kyle's life is to not only make sure that we surround him with a new family, but to make sure that we can hopefully bring placement to him with the foster family or adoption services, but most importantly, engage him in the vocational counseling program, the wellness program, possibly the PASS program, making sure that he not only graduates from high school, but begins a job or career and has success in his future. At 8 a.m., Alan leaves the Salvation Army Men's Shelter. He'll go out for work in the community for the day. He'll return to the facility at 4 p.m. Now, when he returns to the facility, his first stop is the daily alcohol screening that he is mandated to have as being part of the shelter program. He'll then, it may be the day for his random drug screen. It may be payday, and if it's payday, 70% of the money he earns will go into savings, not only to pay for the debts he's incurred prior to coming to the facility, but then also to prepare for his life of self-sufficiency afterwards. Now, he'll be part of the life skills training program that United Way supports within the Salvation Army Men's Shelter. And that program utilizes professionals like you and I to come in and provide him training in finance, provide him training in how to search for his first home, how to establish and maintain that home, how to work with his family, how to help take care of his children, and how to become a successful adult. 9 out of 10 men that complete the men's shelter program remain self-sufficient for a year. And so when you think about 90% of those men going from homelessness to self-sufficiency, your United Way dollars are truly being successful. Now at 10 a.m., Dimitri's caseworker enters the courtroom, and she's been a CASA advocate for Dimitri. Dimitri was locked in a closet for 2 days right here in our community, while his parents were too busy on a binge, a drug binge, unfortunately. Now this CASA advocate has spent hundreds of hours researching every facet of Dimitri's life, going into the home, being removed from the home, or going into the home, going into the school, talking to doctors, counselors, professionals, and then she will provide a recommendation to the Macon County judge. The Macon County judge will then make a decision on whether Dimitri should be removed from his home or be returned to his home. CASA advocates provide such an opportunity for these children. Every child that we've served through the CASA program continues to remain free from the judicial system as a family court case or a juvenile court case. So again, when you think about the success of your United Way dollars and making sure that these children are on a path to success, it's working, breaking the cycle of abuse and neglect in their lives. Now at noon, Noretta receives her noontime meal. She's a senior in our community, and she will probably make that meal stretch for 2. She is homebound senior, and that Meals on Wheels volunteer is usually the only connection that she has with life outside of her home. Now, in order for her to pay for her medical expenses, possibly her insurance, possibly prescription, she needs that meal. United Way supports nearly 80,000 meals being delivered here in the Macon County community alone, and if you look at all 5 counties we serve, it's over 150,000. At 3 p.m., Rachel and her brothers will head to the Boys and Girls Club. They are a few of the 894 children that visit the Boys and Girls Club here in our community. Now, Rachel and her brothers come from a single-parent home. Her mom works 2 jobs. They live in a rough neighborhood, and so Rachel's mom wants them to go to the Boys and Girls Club so they have safe, responsible supervision, help with their homework after school each day. They go Tuesday through Friday from 3 to 9, all day on Saturday each week. When they first come into the facility, they have to go to the homework room where United Way dollars support mentors and tutors that make sure that they do their best with their schoolwork, completing their work, not only and then making sure that they have the necessary assistance with math, science, or reading. 99.7% of the seniors that attended the Boys and Girls Club last year graduated from high school. And of those seniors, 50% of them were college bound. And of the K through 11 members, we looked at 99.2% of them moving on to the next grade level. So again, when you think about the success of your United Way dollars, making sure we take the most at-risk children and moving them to great success, it's working. Now, at 5 p.m., Sandra leaves the Oasis Day Center, and she's attended the facility today. She goes about 2 days a week. During the winter time, she lives in an abandoned house on Edward Street. During the summer, she lives out under the Route 48 bridge. And she's been going to the Oasis a few days a week for a while now. You see, before crime and before unemployment and before homelessness plagued Sandra, she has a mental illness and it's not been treated for some time. United Way dollars, through the support of Heritage and CHIC, provide nurse case management services and management services so that we can move her into a transitional facility, and that's where she is today. Now, soon she'll be on her own feet, but those United Way services serve 70% of the population that's attending the Oasis Day Center. 1,150 people here in Decatur worked with the Oasis last year. Now, at 9 p.m., Dave and his young son lay their heads on the pillow because their tummies are full today because they had a food box from the food pantry. And their help from United Way provided that food box. And most importantly, Dave and his young son are in long-term housing now. Dave was found hiding with his young son in an apartment laundry room over the course of the last year. They were not able to go to a shelter because his son was too old for the men's shelter, but too young for a shelter with young girls. And so now, when they were found, the local authorities asked United Way and other partner agencies to help get them on the road to success. You see, Dave may be in his own apartment now. It's not the long-term success we're looking for, but it's that food box that will continue to help them stay on their feet. And so if his focus is not on hunger, but it's on shelter, and it's on his family, and it's on employment, then we do have short-term success for this family. United Way supports 26,000 food boxes being distributed in Macon County each year. Now, at the end of the story, a family of 7 stands on the curb, and as they watch their home burn to ashes, they had no opportunities to grab the essentials as they headed out the door. And the American Red Cross will pull up and make sure that this family not only has mom's insulin, so there isn't a medical emergency on top of an already disastrous situation, and the dad has work boots and safety glasses, so there's not a gap in employment and he can return to work. And most importantly, that they have shelter for tonight and their immediate needs are met, and that this family is at pre-disaster status within 6 months. Now, I've only had an opportunity today to talk about 8 of 33 different programs, and your materials share with you all the various programs that United Way supports here in Macon County. Of course, in all 5 communities that we serve, it's over 50 programs. So whether you're from Macon County or you're from a bordering community, Macon, Moultrie, DeWitt, Piatt, or Shelby, you know that your United Way works in a similar fashion. And again, if you're from somewhere outside of those communities, again, maybe different programs, but again, it's all about measured results. You see, I didn't have an opportunity to tell you about the 345 children that don't have CASA advocates yet, or that 12.8% of our seniors here in Macon County are hungry and homebound, or that we rank dead last in healthy behaviors as far as the state of Illinois. And I share those measurements with you because that's the role of United Way. It's measuring the communities that we serve through a needs assessment process every 5 years and using community partners like Milliken, and then bringing together community members to drill down that information and determine how we approach the community through programming. It's making sure that we're not just funding programs that feel good, but really address the true community issues that we face. It's up to you as far as personal choice and giving. And so our ask today is that you consider Dimitri and Sandra and Alan and the success stories that your dollars have supported here in the Macon County community. And as you consider giving, again, whether you can give a little or a lot, your money added together will do great things in the community. So thank you for your time today. I appreciate it.